You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 52 of the Batter Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Granada, and we're talking Blow It Up. Solana, how are you doing, sir?
Blow it up. Blow it up right now.
Well, we have reached the crossroad. Right now, we're recording this on January 22nd. The Heat are 23 and 21, 2 games over 500. We thought we had an episode back in November, right before Thanksgiving, where we said, are they the best team in the East? And
I said yes.
You said yeah. I said I don't know. I have to see them against the Detroit Pistons. But I thought that they were one of the top teams. That offense was cooking. The defense was playing well. And then nosedive in December, and they have just been, like we like to say on the show, they're consistently inconsistent. And the wonder is, and I touched on it yesterday when we were doing the show, was they are in the place where I think in pro sports you'd never want to be. And that is right in the middle of the pack, and you just can't move anywhere. You're not bad enough to just fall to the bottom, but you're definitely not good enough to creep up to the top. And you're just consistently there, which is what, between 7, 8, 9 in the Eastern Conference. And that's where they've been for the last half decade, getting into the play-in along with the Hawks and the Bulls. It seems like every year. And the Hawks have kind of, even though they're still technically in the play-in, but they traded away Trae Young. They're starting younger, trying to get draft picks. They have the New Orleans Pelicans first-round draft pick this year, and the Pelicans at the moment are number 1 in the draft lottery odds. So the Hawks could get a number 1 pick. They had the number 1 pick a couple years ago. You have the Chicago Bulls, which are another team that are like the Heat, which people are assuming that they're going to start trading pieces off also because they're stuck in purgatory. But the Miami Heat, it's such a winning culture that they have. I can't imagine them rebuilding, but I think that it's time to start considering it. So with all of that said, where do you lie on the Miami Heat possibly rebuilding before we get into a couple of points as to why I think that they maybe should consider it?
I mean, I'm a little bit on the line. I know I said blow it up, but in reality, I mean, they're only 2.5 games out of the 3 seed. And there's still a lot of basketball to be played. You know, I had a conversation with my brother about this, and obviously my brother covers the Heat, and you know, we got into it, and you know, I was on the fact that we should stick with this team, make some trades, and see what we could do with this team. But the more that I started talking to him, and the more he started, you know, kind of explaining to me the situation, I understood a little bit more about why it was more important to blow things up, and I'm starting to be on that side of blowing things up, because really you have to start thinking, okay, Tyler Hero, he's been consistently hurt all year, right? And is he a person that moves the needle? Absolutely not. Got to trade him. Norman Powell, are we going to pay him $150 million or whatever it is, the max contract, because he's going to be an all-star and he's going to be available for a max contract? Are we going to pay him, a 32-year-old, a max contract? And you got to start thinking about it. Probably not. So it might be time to trade him because you can get a first-round pick for him. So you start looking at the roster and you start saying, oh, who can you trade and what kind of assets can you get for that person? Because you want to stack up and see if you can get Giannis Antetokounmpo either now or in the summer. And the best way to do that is to start blowing it up right now.
Okay, so you and I are in different places. I don't know if I need to see this team for the next week or so to see, right? Because if you start falling, because if you fall on the 500, which is possible, because the schedule they have coming up isn't necessarily the easiest. But if you end up 23 and 25 with a week and a half left to go in the trade deadline, I think you think, okay, this team is obviously not going to contend. They might get in the play-in, but is that really what you want? Like, this is a storied franchise that plays for championships, and that's why they don't like to tank. But at some point, you're faking you're tricking yourself into thinking that what you're doing is good, because just to consistently make the 8th or 9th seed isn't what you want. You want to build for a championship, and I don't think that this team is there yet. Now, you said that you would like to trade things off so that you can have assets to get for Giannis. If you end up trading a lot of your pieces and you bring in Giannis, then you're at the same place. Like, you need Giannis to be surrounded by people. Look at the Bucks over the last couple of years. They haven't made it out of the first round outside of that one year that they won the NBA championship, I believe, over the last 4 or 5 seasons. Like, Giannis, although he's great, he needs help. And if you trade away your pieces, then I wouldn't want Giannis either. If I'm talking, like, if you blow it up, I'm blowing it up so that I can go for the top draft pick in the draft next year, and I give these young guys a chance. Now I'm not there yet, but I think that something that should be considered because, like you said, Tyler Hero always injured. He's gonna end up like a DeMar DeRozan, right? That bounces around, good offensive player, but you just end up seeing him bounce around because he just can't stay anywhere consistently, even though he's been here for a while. You have Norman Powell, 32 years old, about to bank, but is this team going to become a contender? Because when you sign a max player, you hope that this max player is going to help you contend, especially at 32 years old. Is he really going to help you contend? I don't think so, unless they make a couple other moves around him. And then you have Bam Adebayo. It's been a rough year for him. He's turned it on as of late. He had a couple good games, a couple bad games. Eastern Conference Player of the Week, but I think that if you blow it up, you might be doing yourself some good in the long run. I was talking about this a couple of shows ago. The Miami Heat have had, I think, 3 very important moments in their franchise, maybe 4. In '96, they traded away Glenn Rice, their franchise player, for Alonzo Mourning. Big move. That's a franchise player. Although you got Alonzo back, that's a big move. Ended up changing the trajectory of this team for the following 5 years or so. And then he got the whole kidney issue. Tim Hardaway got old. Then they had to do what we don't want to do. And they kind of ended up just rebuilding, getting a bunch of young guys. They got a lottery pick, picked up Caron Butler. Then the following year, obviously, they picked up Dwayne Wade. And those are 2 draft picks. You use Caron Butler and a couple other pieces to trade for Shaq. And all of a sudden, you're off to the races again. But you needed to suck for 2 seasons to do that. And then, again, they have a lull to the point where they get Michael Beasley in the second round pick. Now, unfortunately, that didn't work out, but that's the type of stuff that kind of gets you going. And then you got LeBron James. That's an aberration, right? That doesn't happen very much. But then you had another moment where you sucked again, right? You went 31-10 after starting the season 10-31. You missed the playoffs, but you get Bam Adebayo. Like, you need those lottery picks to really get you to where you need to go. And I think that that's where we're at. I think we need to try to take a little dip and try to build for the future. Now, the problem is that Pat Riley, at his age, he's not going to want to sit through a rebuild. So are you just really going to keep just going and retreading these wheels, like retreading this play-in roster? Because, I mean, at some point, you got to get tired of it, right?
Well, they have 2 options now going into the trade deadline, right? And one, obviously, is blow it up, trade everybody, and let the young guys play. The other one is try to trade a couple of folks and get better through the trade and signing some free agents once they get released from their teams after the trade deadline. So they have 2 very interesting paths that they could choose to take. And look, I right now I'm more of the side where you need to blow it up and you need to trade some of your assets to get some picks and all that, so that we can come up for a better trade package, because I do think that Giannis and Bam together would be really nice. And if you could surround them with shooters, offensively, it would be a fantastic lineup, and defensively, obviously, with Giannis and Bam in one lineup, I mean, that's a great defensive lineup. And so, I think we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks and see what happens on the rest of this road trip to see exactly where they're going to go, if they're going to take the path of trading everybody or if they're going to just try to get 1 or 2 players and get better. But I mean, it's a really interesting topic to talk about. We could probably do this for about 45 minutes. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to do that. But yeah, Danny, I mean, I don't know. Are you of the opinion that you need to trade Bam too if you're going to blow it up?
If you're going to blow it up, yeah. If you're going to blow it up. Like, if you're going to blow it up, go all the way, because then it's not blowing it up. It's just trying to rebuild around Bam. And how many times have we said that Bam isn't the number 1 guy? We've said that before.
Many times. But so you would trade like Bam, Hero, Norman Powell, and then you would keep Kasparas Jakučionis and start him. You would keep
Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez.
Okay.
And again, I'm not saying that we're there yet, but I think it's time to start talking about it, right? Because 2 games over 500 after the last 5 seasons. Think about the last 5 seasons. Like, when you think about it, it's been a play-in. Like, they had that one season when they ended up in the number 1 seed where Kyle Lowry was like taking charges left and right. Like everything was just they were leading the league in 3-point percentage. Like everything just kind of went well. But outside of that season, it's been playing all the way through. Like you can't keep doing that. You're not going to keep that. That was one or a couple miracle runs, but that's not going to keep happening. When you look at the top teams in the NBA right now, Oklahoma City, they blew it up. It took them a little while, but look at them now. You have San Antonio Spurs. They blew it up. That one, they didn't really blow it up. Everybody just retired. But again, they were bad for a while, and look at them now. You have the Houston Rockets. They blew it up. They sent away James Harden, and look at them now. They ended up with Kevin Durant, a bunch of good draft picks, and look at them now. Like a lot of the teams that are doing poorly, that are playing well right now, had to go through these moments where they just kind of blew it up, and they had to rebuild all over again. The Cleveland Cavaliers. And again, I know that that's not the Heat way. I know that's not Heat culture, but it might be time to consider it. The biggest move. What are the two most iconic players that were draft picks on this team? Dwayne Wade and Bam Adebayo, and we got them both in the lottery. So I don't know. That's my only thing. I'm not saying we're there yet, but I think it's time to start maybe considering it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, the Heat don't like to rebuild, right? The Heat like to retool. That's what they call it. They like to retool and get better through the trade, get better signing some free agents, and yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens. I mean, like I said, right now, I'm more of the way that we should semi blow it up. You seem like you want to completely blow it up, and
not yet, but I don't like semi blow ups. I'm saying if we get there, just blow the whole thing up. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I'm curious to see what the fans think. Definitely drop your comments. Let us know what you think. Would you blow it up right now the way Danny is saying, complete blow up? Or would you trade a few pieces and try to get a little bit better through the trade deadline and see if you can compete at the end of the season for a championship this season?
Oh, no, this season, no matter what happens, I can't imagine they compete for a championship. This
Never
season?
Oh. Nobody thought they'd go 31-10 with Dion Waiters.
Yeah, but they started 10-31.
I know, but they got hot.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, what's it? They missed about like a game.
Yeah, nobody wanted to face that team.
Yeah,
if they made it into the playoffs.
But they ended up getting Bam out of that. No,
we did.
All right. And one quick last note. Time for rebuild. Don't do what the Knicks do, because the Knicks I don't know what the hell they were doing. They've been 2-9 since the 31st of December.
They want to see it.
Huh?
They want to trade Cat.
I know, because he's soft, and they're idiots. I know this isn't a Knicks show. I don't know why I even brought that up, but it's just fun to see them do bad.
I mean, we got to give it to them, right? We always got to give it to them whenever we can. I mean, this is the Heat show. You know, we don't like the Knicks. We don't like the Celtics. We don't like the 76ers. We don't really like any team, to be honest with you, other than the Heat. So whenever we get a chance to dish some out to one of those teams, we can take it.
2-9 since December 31st, and they had a bunch of assets. If it wasn't for the GM, Leon Rose, being an idiot, they probably could have gotten Giannis, or Giannis wants to go to the Knicks. They had like 5 draft picks, and they traded all 5 of those draft picks for Mikal Bridges. The Knicks are terrible. They're just horrible. But at least they won the NBA Cup, so good for them. All right, Solana, any final words?
No, man. This was an interesting episode. Like I said, we could have gone a lot longer on this, but I like to keep it short with you and give the fans something to talk about. So definitely leave your comments and let us know what you think. And I'll be in the comments a little later responding to some folks.
And my favorite commenter is the guy that always says white beard guy. White beard guy. If you're listening on audio, please leave us 5 stars and a comment. If you watch it on YouTube, like and subscribe, and leave a comment for white beard guy. And we'll be back tomorrow talking about Portland Trailblazers. So until the next one, have a good one.